Hi students, we are going to learn the second lesson of our course book. The hummingbird who chewed bubblegum. There was a little hummingbird in my neighborhood. It usually sat on my windowsill. I enjoyed hearing her sing. Suddenly I didn't see the little hummingbird for some days. The speaker of the lesson says that she has already made an intimacy or friendship, a deep friendship with a hummingbird. It usually come to her house and sit on the windowsill. Every day she used to watch it, but suddenly it disappeared. For some days she didn't get any chance to meet it, so she became very sad. She tries to think some of the reasons for its disappearance. About a week ago, a bad storm came along and blew all the worms away. I felt sorry for the hummingbird. She must have been hungry, so she must have flown away. I thought. She began to think about the disappearance of the hummingbird. One of the reasons she thought that there was a storm a week back. During that time, most of the worms, that is the food item for the hummingbird. During that storm, most of the worms had flown away. Now, the hummingbird must have been very hungry and left the place. Then, one beautiful sunny morning, the little hummingbird reappeared on my windowsill. But when she continued in such a thoughts about the disappearance of the hummingbird, but evening, one morning, sunny morning, the same hummingbird disappeared on her windowsill. Where have you been? I asked the little hummingbird. Just out flying around, replied the little hummingbird. She asked her. She asked her the reason about her disappearance for the last some days. But the hummingbird told her that just out flying around. Did you find anything to eat? I asked. Oh, there is plenty of food. Plenty of food. But all the chicks and straw were blown away by the last week's storm. Just the hummingbird, said the hummingbird in a sad voice. The speaker understood that not because of the food item she left the place, but she needed some ticks and straws. I am sorry to hear that. What are you going to do? I asked. The little hummingbird stroked her feathers and said, I am not sure, but I have a favor to ask you. The little hummingbird wanted to ask some favor from the speaker. Sure, anything, I said. The speaker told the little hummingbird that she was ready to give the little hummingbird anything she asked for. Sure, anything, I said. Could you please give me some bubblegum? Asked the little hummingbird. But the little hummingbird asked her a different type of question, a different type of help. The little hummingbird wanted to get a different types of favor from the speaker. That is a bubblegum. I was surprised that a little hummingbird should ask for bubblegum, but I was happy to share it with my friend. The little hummingbird chewed the gum balls and then blew a bubble bigger than her body. It was a different type of question for a hummingbird to ask. She didn't get, uh, she didn't hear such a thing in her whole life. But immediately after the bubble gum is given to the little hummingbird, it started to make it started to chew the bubble gum and make it a small bigger balls than her body. Thanks, she said and flew away. The next morning, the little hummingbird was back. She asked for a few more pieces of bubblegum. I did not know why she wanted bubblegum, but I was happy to share it with her. She thanked me again and flew away. The next morning also, the little hummingbird came to the speaker and started asking for the same, for the bubblegum. But the speaker was a little bit puzzled, surprised. For what purpose? What is the purpose of asking for the bubble gum? She was completely surprised. 2 days later, it was nice and sunny. I was playing outside. Suddenly, I heard a voice calling out my name. I looked around, but I didn't see anyone. One day, while I was playing outside, I could hear some voice calling my name. Then when I turned around, I couldn't see anything else. The voice called out my name again. This time I realized it was coming from the oak tree in my backyard. I saw the little hummingbird up on the tree. She was sitting in a red, orange, and blue nest. When I turned back, I could understand that the calling sound is coming from the oak tree from my backyard. When I went there, I could see the little hummingbird up on the tree, and it was sitting on a red, orange, and blue nest. The little hummingbird has already built a nest for her. It's having so many colors like red, orange, and blue nest. Blue. Look what you helped me build, said the little hummingbird. What do you mean? I asked. The little hummingbird told the speaker that only because of your help I could make such a nest like this, colorful nest. What do you mean? I asked. Well, after the storm, there weren't any sticks and straws left. I needed something to build a nest where I could lay my eggs. Now the little hummingbird began to explain the reality that after the storm, after a big storm was blown last week, I couldn't find any sticks and straws which could be used for making nest. On the absence of these necessary essential thing for making such a nest for me, I made it by the bubble gun that you have just you gave me. Your bubblegum helped me to build this nest. Thank you so much, said the little hummingbird. I climbed up the oak tree, and sure enough, there were two little eggs the size of jelly beans lying in the nest made of bubblegum. Now I wanted to make sure that in person. So I climbed up the tree and I wanted to see it. It felt good to share my bubblegum in the first place. I told myself. I was so happy I shared my bubblegum with the hummingbird. At that moment, I was really happy to have shared my things with another. She has been able to build her nest because of it. So go ahead and share your things with friends, with others' friends. Now, the speaker shares us with her own wonderful experience of having shared some thing with others and the value of helping others. So, the speaker says us to do the same.